Nobody's actually colorblind. I grew up in a multiracial home. They figured out how to get along. There are certain strengths and benefits to that, and there are certain challenges to that. I think at the very least, you don't have the same racial experience as your in-laws, so you can explain things, but they're not always going to experience everything the way that you are. I don't know, like if you ever travel to a country where you don't speak the language and cruise around, it's like you've got a little suit of armor on. Like you gotta be a little more vigilant, you gotta listen, move a little more slowly, make sure you're not upsetting or offending someone, or even, as an analogy, like taking your children in public. You just have to be a little more attentive, make sure they're not destroying the place, offending somebody. But then when you get back home, it's like, or when you get off the plane into the US airport and there's Starbucks in English and it's like, for somebody who is a minority, just navigating the world, it's like going into the foreign country or having your kids in public. Now, I do take my kids in public and have positive experiences. I travel to places where I don't speak the language and have positive experiences, but you do just have to be a little more aware or on edge in mixed company, especially when you're getting started. You know, if you're dating somebody from a different racial group, you just don't know, are they going to have racial issues? Is something going to pop up? Are they going to say something sideways? How am I going to react to that? Is it safe to talk about politics, race, or religion with my family, or is it not safe to talk about that? You know, those questions come up. I'm sure my dad went through all of it. You know, I've been through that too. Exercising that a little bit, it's like, I've never skipped leg day. I'm ready for mixed company. And I'm also comfortable in my affinity space, you know. So like we go to ceremonies and it's all Ojibwe, you know, and that's fine too. And so I can code switch back and forth a little more comfortably. Somebody who's never had to do that, when you step out of the zone, it's like radical discomfort. I'm never going there again. You know, I'll never talk to them again. So we tend to limit ourselves a little bit. A lot of times it's just fear of offending somebody, fear of exposing an ignorance, and we retreat. We skip leg day. So part of the advice, honestly, is don't skip leg day. Let's go. You know, I will spot you. We need you to lift. So yeah, my dad, I'm sure he had experiences, but he was a fireball himself in a different way. Like from his childhood experience, he could tolerate no oppression. So he, you know, at times worked as a labor union organizer. He learned English and worked as an English teacher. He wrote books. He ended up working for anti-poverty programs for the government, worked for tribes. Yeah, he was like, you know, the radical Grandpa Bernie Sanders kind of guy. And everyone's like, all right, he's cool.